I've been waiting to talk about this shit. I've been waiting to talk about this shit, bro, because
tell me.
There's not a lot of people who've been listening, and there's not a lot of people who've been talked to be like, what do we think about this? So Kendrick dropped his album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, a 2-part, 18-track album. When I tell you, I've been listening.
I tell you.
I was surprised. A few people that I reached out to, you know what they said?
What'd they say? They didn't like it.
No, they haven't even listened to it yet.
Oh, shit.
I was surprised. I go, okay, all right. And I wanted to talk about it on here. And let me say this.
Excuse you.
When I first listened to it, this was my initial reaction, all right?
Mm-hmm.
My initial first-time reaction. And shouts out to Marcos. I'm going to... Shouts out to Marcos.
Wait.
Marcos podcast alum.
How'd you listen to it? Headphones,
I do.
speaker?
I'm glad you asked, because I do both.
Okay.
When I first listened to it,
I need to know. That's important.
Come on now.
That's important, bro.
Okay, you feel me?
You're right. You gotta be
this is
tuned
important.
in.
And I'm glad you said that, because I said that with Marcos too. When I first listened to it, I listened to it on the speaker. Just in the initial release.
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen to it. Let me just listen to it and get a feel for it. My second time is when I listened to it on the headphones fully through. Like
That's when the lyrics hit a little stronger, huh?
Fully through. I don't skip. Let me listen to it fully through.
Noise
headphones
canceling.
in, and then I listened to it for a third time. Let me tell y'all my initial. So I was texting Marcos literally as we're both listening to it and texting each other at the same time.
You guys planned it or what?
Nah, we just
That's
just the homie.
It.
That's just
cool.
the homie. Shout out to Marcos Aguilar.
You guys planned it.
He just dropped a beat mixtape too, so he does beats too. So I'm gonna get you on. But or beat track, sorry. And so here's the thing. It was a lot to take in. When I first listened to it, I was just like, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It was all over the place, but it was consistent.
Yep.
And maybe I was just like, what? I had to listen to it again. So I listened to it again fully with headphones. And I was like, okay, I think I got a grasp of it. It took me, and I had posted on Instagram too. It took me literally 3 whole fully sit down listens. I had to listen to it 3 times to get it and to be like, and to make my because this was I didn't know how to make of it because Marco was asking me. He goes, how do you think? I go, I don't know yet.
It's because it's so much. Like you could only comprehend so much songs.
I don't know.
In like the first couple times, so it's like one song might be hitting a little harder than one this time, or the second time you listen to this song's better.
Look at it.
I'm gonna talk about the album real quick. My name's Julio. I'll be here all day.
Face down, ass up, heavy balls.
Woo! Heavy balls, baby. Every season has passed, but we still got the momentum. We're still flowing. You know what I mean? The album, bro. The first time I listened to it, I was driving back to Greenfield and I was tired, so I fell asleep.
Good cheers.
So that was the first time.
Hold on.
I fell asleep.
Hey, bro,
what?
Kendrick. No, I fell asleep, bro. I was tired, you know? So I had to listen to it the second time.
That's like 3.
Plugged it into you guys are over here behind. Plugged it into the earphones. And it was a good album, bro. I listened to it once.
Wait, hold on. You fell asleep?
Where you at?
Did you listen to it?
You in the back of the class. Look up.
What?
That was me. No, I listened to it once. Fully.
And it put you to sleep?
No, I fell asleep and it was on.
What?
Right? It was playing, right?
Okay, and then you fell asleep.
And then I was tired, so I took a nap.
So it did put you to sleep.
It didn't put me to sleep. The drive put me to sleep.
I couldn't go to sleep with that shit,
couldn't.
bro.
No, I
I
was listening to it.
I'm that guy, bro. I'm that guy about music. It's
Okay,
cool.
so
I'll listen to it.
So break it down.
I'll break it down.
break it down.
The content in the actual album was great. It's been a while since we heard a Kendrick album.
I hear a butt coming up.
Nah, no buts.
It's been 5 years.
No buts.
I hear
the
a
only
butt.
thing I would say is I really want to re-listen to it and dive into the lyrics a little more, like you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I only had a chance to listen to it once fully, and I loved it. Everything where he took it. The interludes are always great. He's always creative with that. His creativity is off the fucking wall. It was creative, man. It was his creativity. He takes.
I just didn't know, bro. Like I was telling Mark too.
You know what?
I didn't know.
Don't get mad at him.
When I first listened to it, I just didn't know how to go about it. Like I was trying to break it down.
Indulge it?
Yeah, like I was like, I don't, because
Is it like a
it threw me
step-
off. And the end having Kodak on it,
Oh, bro,
having Kodak threw me off.
Shout out Kodak though.
I was like, what? Like it just threw me off.
That was dope. That was dope.
What
dope.
Kodak is for Kendrick, is what J. Cole is for 21 Savage.
Damn, hold on, break that down. Break that down.
They play similar roles.
Break that down.
At least in this last album and in the other J. Cole album.
Okay,
you know,
break that down. Because I feel like I know what you're saying.
So
Go
it's like
I can feel
the way I see it, the way I comprehend it is like, when you're in the industry, you always have to have that one feature, that one, you know,
that go to,
whether it's the younger homie like Kodak doing his thing, or whether it's
Drake and Lil Durk,
or like the 21 Savage and J. Cole, you know, is like we're both up here. Come rock with me, brother.
When 21 gets on a track with J. Cole, like it elevates him. There's no denying. Like, it really does elevate him. So it's interesting that you say that, because when I was listening to the Kodak interludes and the little snippets and then the verses, I was like, it threw me off. So that's what I'm saying. Like my first initial reaction was, I was like, when he asked me, he goes, what do you think? I literally texted him. I go, I don't know yet. Like I don't have a definitive.
You know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was great, good, bad. I didn't know how to interpret it. The second time I listened to it and I was like, okay,
the words.
Now I know.
It was deep.
I was like, now I know. And Kodak, and to Kodak's defense and Kodak's justice, like he killed it.
He always talks that talk,
hey, bro. If you,
I
didn't know
like Kodak goes,
he says
bro.
Some real shit.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he's with the shit. He's a real dude. He's out there giving out fucking ACs back home, bro.
It threw me off though, like because he really did snap on it. I was like, okay, like this is justified. Like he really eased in his bag on this one. It took, like I said, 3 whole listens for me to fully be like, okay, I know what the theme is of this album. I fuck what he's saying, and I really did appreciate the Kodak appearances on it. Did you see production wise? What did you think? Oh, actually, before you go, let me tell you the vibes I was getting. Tell me if I'm off on this. You tell me.
Nothing, no crazy.
I was getting real good Kanye album production vibes. Am I off?
Nah, you're on point.
The fucking drums and some 808s I would hear. Like, I'll give you the tracks specifically that I was like, oh, this reminds me of Kanye. And then I found out Pharrell was on it. Mr. Morale, the doom doom doom, you know? I was like, oh, this kind of Kanye. The very first track, Untitled Grief, or whatever the fuck it is, that very first one reminded me of like the life of St. Pablo. It just reminded me.
Honestly, I did see that on Twitter, and people were comparing.
Oh, it was on Twitter?
It was also on Twitter.
See, I didn't know that. So my third time in is when I finally, and I talked about this with Lily too, I finally grasped it, and I go, okay, I know what the theme of this album is. I fully intake it, and my full process thought was, it's a great fucking album. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, mind you, I'm coming from a different perspective. I'm coming from a point where it's like, I feel like a portion of me grew up with Kendrick since 2010, and hearing him talk
about his kids
were just everything. He's talking about kids, growing up, mistakes, therapy. He's talking about
real shit. Talking about real shit. The progress.
So like, I feel like I grew up with him throughout that. So when I'm listening to it now, I'm listening to it from a different aspect. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know like younger kids, they might not get it right away. You know what I mean?
What the fuck is this?
He's talking about like shit that he's fucked up on. He's talking about shit that he's correcting. He's talking about family. He's talking about advancing.
Fatherhood.
So it's like, maybe that's why I'm like enjoying it more.
That one,
man, yeah. Here's the only knock somewhat that I just was like, and there's a bunch of different perspectives on it, but the track We Cry Together, when it's 5 minutes of them just arguing.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I just
You know what? You know why I respected that? Where I felt he paid homage was I feel like that was like an Eminem. That was like an Eminem skit, bro. Like back in like
I didn't get that
off the Marshall Mathers LP. They go back and forth. If you ever heard us when Dr. Dre's his conscience in one of his songs, I forget what it is, but he's going back and forth with himself rapping and then Dr. Dre, but then he's changing his voice literally in his own head. I don't know. That's what I kind of got. Not that everybody wanted to hear 5 minutes of them going back and forth.
Yeah,
but I like I
That's
like
a
how
real
I
situation.
yeah, it's
I didn't-
real. I
yeah.
was like, oh shit. God
I didn't
damn.
get that because at the very end, at the very, very end, and there's since the very first track, there was a consistent theme where you hear tap dancing, like tap dancing, and at the very end of that track that we listened to too, the girl goes, you hear that noise, the tap dancing, and she goes, stop tap. No, she say stop tap dancing or have the conversation, or
Yeah,
she goes
oh,
stop.
yeah.
She goes stop going around the thing. She's like have the conversation or stop going around the
What'd you
bush,
feel
have the
about that?
conversation. Well, that was it. It was like you're tap dancing. Like what he's trying to say is like these issues is what's going on. These problems is what's going on right now. That fighting happens every like in every relationship. This fighting, those arguments like that, they're putting out there like that because like yo, that shit happens. And instead of ignoring it, instead of being like
Face that shit.
they're saying you hear the tap dancing at the end is because what I interpret it was just being like stop tap dancing around the conversation and have that conversation. Stop tap dancing around this wrong shit and acknowledge it.